As a realtor, your image and reputation is everything, which is why making sure your profiles, images are updated, accurate, and reflect who you are as a professional is critical. At REMAX Results, we've created a complimentary online audit to help you make sure that your online presence is an accurate reflection of you for your customers. So if you're interested in having this complimentary guide, shoot us an email, podcast@results.net.
Welcome back. This is part 2 of our series of Women in Real Estate. I have Tina Sharif, Anita McKeown, and Stephanie Gruver. In this episode, I asked them what challenges, if any, that they faced as a real estate agent. We will also cover advice for women who are considering a career in real estate and things they would like to change about the industry overall. Part 2 starts now. I want to talk a little bit about just being women in real estate and the fact that you are your own business owner, you are your own boss. Share with me or share some advice to listeners who might be maybe considering a career in real estate.
At my first broker, there was a coach who was very, driven about, your income is, unlimited and, you can make whatever you want to make. And this is true to a lot. It's depending on time, capacity, priorities. But I had written a business plan for my business, and I had set an income goal and a target market and a number of transactions I wanted to complete. And I hit it relatively soon in my career. But it was interesting because what I found is so many of the coaches are all about, more and more and more. And maybe it's because I'm a Gen Xer. I was like, or not. This is your business. So what I think anyone who goes into real estate should do is decide what they want out of their business. And it's the same with any business that you're going to start if you've got that entrepreneurial mindset. Mm-hmm. If you need to be home at a certain time every night for whatever reason to spend time with your spouse, your kids, you're going to commit to seeing a personal trainer, whatever it is, you need to make sure that that's part of your overall plan, that your business is designed to allow you to have the life you want as well as the income you want. Because if you don't, this business can be very time consuming. Mm-hmm. And it's very easy to give up some of the benefits of the business in wake of the revenue potential. So right. I think that everyone who's interested in real estate, especially women, we need to approach it as, okay, this is a business. This is what my goals are. Here are my production goals, my revenue goals, my profit goals, but here is also my life goals. Mm-hmm. And you need to figure out where that balance is. And then you'll actually really love this work. Mm-hmm. If you don't, you probably will burn out a little sooner than later, or you won't find the success you want. And I think that's really important, is to define your success. Everyone has a different interpretation of what success is. That's one of the things I like about my colleagues here is every one of them has committed to being successful on their terms in this business, and they have the longevity to show it.
So Anita, let's talk about you've raised some kids along the way, and while maintaining and growing a successful real estate business.
I have. And I felt really fortunate to be able to, do things at school with them. And I loved the flexibility. I loved going to school. I called it being a hot lunch mama, and you'd serve lunch to the kids, and it was fun. My husband and I made a deal. I would figure out daycare during the day, during the week, Monday through Friday. Mm-hmm. And the weekends, he was responsible completely. I could schedule whatever I wanted. And he totally did that. He's not a dad who's like afraid to be with his kids. So that's fortunate. Yeah. And I have 2 daughters, and oddly enough, my youngest daughter, she's like, Mom, I think it'd be really cool to be a realtor. I'm like,
I know everybody. People have that reaction when their kids want.
But it's one of those, and I guess actually maybe that's good, because maybe I have been modeling some things right.
Mm-hmm. So we talk about being able to set our own schedules and having flexibility, but let's be honest, starting with you, Tina, what is it, your typical hours? How what does your typical schedule look like? I don't think you all are just kicking back. I think that there's a lot of time put into your business.
There is definitely a lot of time put into the business, and like Stephanie kind of touched on earlier, you are like the mastermind of your business, right? You set the limitations. You set all your, anything that you want to reach. You set that. So for me, I do have children, and I am fortunate enough that their father is like more hands-on. So it allows me to be more focused on my business. I would say, I don't know if a new agent should model after me. There's not been too much of a routine or consistency, but whatever I'm doing is working. So my day pretty much, it consists of, touching base with, just allocating a couple hours a day, blocking hours a day to touch base with past clients, figure out what's going on with my current clients and their situation. Lots of prospecting, and really building relationships with community leaders, being involved. So that I kind of just, if I can give myself 6 to 7 hours a day, just doing those activities, I know that results are going to start to catapult. Like they're going to start to come to fruition. So that's what I've been doing.
Good for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So a little stat I want to pull out here. I was NAR, National Association of Realtors. We're not going to dive too deep into the National Association of Realtors here, but I thought it was interesting. When NAR was founded in 1908, the membership NAR was 100% men. We know that in 1908. And the founders declared the purpose of NAR was to, quote, unite the real estate men of America. I'd never heard that before. I went, wow. So here we are. Women realtors surpassed men in 1978. And it just took off from there. And now the latest statistic, it's actually down. 62% of all realtors are female, down from 66% last year, which I thought was very interesting. But I think it's because of the earning, again, that's what we're here talking about, why we love real estate. There's not a lot of female leaders in real estate, though, and I'd like to see that change. I think every one of you here is a leader, actually. You're all leaders in your own business. So the statistics I just shared, women as realtors, also we know that single home buyers, women home buyers,
Buy more.
double the amount of single male buyers. 19% of single home buyers last year were females. And that number is growing. So, but like working in real estate as a woman, have you ever, we've all encountered challenges. Let's share an example of something that you've encountered just simply because you're a woman and how you overcame it.
Well, as for me, I guess my experiences are going to be a little bit more unique because of the layering, right? For me specifically, not only that I'm a woman, but, Black woman in the industry as well. So there's a lot of challenges in that. Now, I think I haven't directly faced any as a female, but there's been some concerns, right? In terms of like my safety as a woman in the industry. So I have to be more careful when I go on showings, especially and with my business, every client is like a referral or someone that I know. So it's been organically built that way. And I don't know if it's because I'm introverted and I don't pick up the phone and dial and call, strangers, but every once in a while I will get a stranger, and there's that fear in the back of my mind. Am I safe? So I think that just being a woman in this industry, you think a lot of your safety.
Yeah.
But I have not been in a situation where I had to compete for business because most of my business are referrals.
That's great. Have any of you ever taken a safety class? Like there's a lot of realtor personal defense, perhaps carry weapons. You don't have to disclose that here.
I
No
know
weapons.
a lot of you do.
No weapons. I have to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm 6'2". So I think I have 3 older brothers. They're all 6'2", maybe shrunk a little bit at this point. So, I've always carried myself in a different way. And granted, height is only going to do so much against a weapon, but I've rarely encountered anything that I've ever felt threatened. The most threatening situation I felt I was ever in was another female real estate agent showed up at one of my open houses early in my career. And she had it was very clear she had a lot of psychological issues. And she decided the best thing to do was to find an open house and talk it out with another agent. But her version of talking it out was to criticize everything that I was doing and come off very threatening. And it's probably one of the few people that's ever walked into my open house that was almost my height and outweighed me and was threatening and was a woman and just had a lot of issues. And I was trying to quietly text my husband behind my back saying, get down here. And she finally left. But it's funny because of all of the transactions, all the appointments I've been on, that open house was the one that actually scared me because I was in the house alone.
I think that and it's one of the things that I always try and tell my girls. It's like, trust your gut. It's there for a reason. Trust your gut. You do things like Steve and I, my husband, if I'm going into a situation where I don't know somebody, I'll tell him, what the phone number is of the person, exactly where I'm going to be. And then I call him when it's done and say, hey, yeah, everything's fine.
It's kind of like online dating.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I always say everything in real estate is like dating.
Yeah.
You Google
You always
the
have
person.
a friend on backup.
Yeah.
You're sharing your location.
Here's my schedule.
Schedule. What's Tina?
Yes.
Advice for real people who are considering a career in real estate? What's your maybe top 2 pieces of advice? Good question. So, advice for anyone considering getting into the industry, I would say, be a good person. You have to come into this industry knowing that it's not about you. It's about the people that you serve. And if you're a good person with good intentions, this business can reward you far beyond your imagination. And the other advice is be humble. The industry is ever changing. We're always learning. You can never know it all. Just be humble. And if you're in a situation where you don't know it, ask for help.
Yep.
So that's my advice. Good. Thank you.
That's great advice.
I remember
Anita.
hearing from an agent early on, put your client's needs first and yours will be met. It's pretty simple.
And you've stuck with that? Yep.
It's the old thing. It's like everything you learned in kindergarten.
Right. Absolutely.
Exactly. The golden rule.
Yeah.
Do unto others.
Yeah.
The basics.
Well, and I think I worked early on with an agent who was quite experienced. We stumbled into a nice little working relationship, colleague in the office. And he actually sat on the professional standards committee. And he said, the best advice I can give you is any decision you're going to make, is it in the best interest of the client? So again, is it the right thing to do for the client? And if you always do that, and the other piece of advice I give to a lot of new agents is you can't do this business without a license. So don't do anything. If there's any question that it could harm your reputation or your license, walk away. I have walked away from multiple opportunities to list and sell property because I was being asked to do unethical things. I've canceled listing contracts with people because they were trying to corner me into unethical things. There's no amount of money that's worth your reputation or your license.
Anita, is there anything you'd like to see change in the real estate space?
One of the things that I appreciate most about this business is that 98% of realtors are good people. And actually, think about, I look back on the people that influenced my career, and a lot of them were women. And the way that I learn is by watching people. And so when I first started, I would take little things from, and these women were wildly successful. And this was I started in 95. I don't know that I want to see it change. I think that one of the things that I would like to see agents realize is that everyone wants to make it work, and don't ever approach a situation like the other agent is your enemy, because everyone wants to make it work. And about 98% of the people
Are good people.
Yep, are really good people. So I think that we do that really well.
That brings me to another question: are you suggesting? I'm not implying that, but the 2% of realtors out there, perhaps they're affecting just the general public perception of realtors. I mean, we. What would you like to change if you could about the real estate industry?
That's a good one. Maybe not make the barrier to entry so easy.
I love that answer. Yeah.
Because I feel like there are just all types of people flooding into our industry, and to kind of, piggyback off of what you just mentioned, that 2%, they say bad news travel way further and faster than good news. So, I think it needs to be a little bit more challenging.
Raise the
bars.
bar for entry into real estate.
Well, that's what other career is out there where they go, oh, are you still selling real estate?
That's funny.
Are you still a doctor? Are you still a lawyer?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because so few people get their real estate license and
Give real estate a try.
Yep. They see it on social media or these reality TV shows. And I had a girl come to me and said, oh, I got into real estate because of selling Sunset.
Oh no.
No. So, yes.
What would you change, Stephanie?
I too agree that the barrier to entry, it's an affordable business model to start, and it's an affordable business to get into in many ways. But I also think a lot of people don't understand what it really takes. And so people go and they spend the time to get their license, they get their headshot, they get their cards printed, and they don't, 2 years later, they're gone. And to have the staying power, you have to really commit to this, and you have to keep bettering yourself. You have to keep building those networks. I love when agents call me with questions about how would you do that. That's one of the things that I think has been really helpful in my career, is that I had agents to call that I felt comfortable. Instead of just broker, which can be a little intimidating at times, I would call, other colleagues and bounce ideas off of. And now people are calling me to bounce ideas.
Right.
And I like to give back in that regard, because I think we all do better when we all do better.
Yep. You're so good at that, Stephanie. I mean, that was sort of how our friendship started.
Yes. I'm a recipient too.
Yeah. And I think it comes back around. Right. Like, I have a feeling that if I hit a crisis point with my, at some point in my business, if I struggled with keeping up on a showing or something, I could make a couple of calls and somebody would jump in and help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Yep. Because this is tough when you're going it alone. I mean, I have a business partner and I have my husband as licensees now. So I have a little group. I have this little boutique, I like to call it, the boutique little group. But when a lot of times you're just off on your own, especially when you start. And it's really hard when you're taking on clients, because you want to take on all these clients. There's only so many hours in the day too.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough.
I'm going to ask all of you one more question. What would you say is the reason why one of your clients would continue to work with you? What is it about working with you as a realtor, Tina? Why would they come back?
Most of my clients do come back. In fact, they refer and refer and refer. And I want to believe it's because of who I am. I'm very personable. I'm humble. I treat my clients like their family. I get invited to baby showers, multiple weddings in a year. So it's just, it's an extension of my, my little tribe, my little family. So, and they feel the love, and that's why they keep coming back.
That's great.
That's good.
How about you, Anita?
Couple of things. I think that my clients, I think they see me as just a very good listener, and for as erratic as I can be, being very level-headed. And we also have a ton of fun. We do. We laugh.
I believe
I
that.
laugh a lot. Early, often. I sing badly. I don't know if they're entertained, but I am. And they keep coming back. So. I mean, the most embarrassing things happen. But it's just like when you lock yourself in the bathroom and you're with this guy who's like all pressed and dressed. I was so scared. And he comes and he knocks on the door. He's like, Anita? I'm like, yes. He goes, did you lock yourself in? Got tears streaming down my face because I'm laughing so hard.
Yep.
What an icebreaker that was.
Yeah.
It was.
You're hired on the spot. Yeah.
It was great. And we just laughed, and it's fun. And yeah, so.
Stephanie, why would your clients come back?
I'm thinking of one of my very favorite clients. We've done many transactions together. We've done residential. He's one of the few clients that I do commercial work for. He is a very, very brilliant man. And I remember the first time I met him, I was a little intimidated by him because he's just so smart. But, we've developed this working relationship. And I tell him exactly what he needs to hear. And he tells me exactly what I need to hear. And I think I'm probably one of the few people in his life that will do that. And he has referred me to many people over the years. And he says, I don't necessarily need a real estate agent because he's got a legal background. So he's very good at contracts. But he says, she is honest. And that's what I value more than anything. She will work extremely hard for you to find what you need. And she is very, very honest. And that's someone that I want to do business with. So
Thank you, Tina and Anita and Stephanie. This has been really fun. I appreciate you ladies.
Thank you.
And I'd like to have you back on the show again, too. Stephanie, maybe not. I'm just kidding.
I don't need to be back.
I love you, Stephanie. Yeah.
But we should also say we appreciate you.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
you are a woman leader in this business. And
It's been fun to watch you rise up through the ranks and
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Our Shiro. I've had my challenges too. Next time we'll turn the tables and you can ask me the questions. I kind of lock up then, don't I? Yeah.
I would love to be the interview on
Thank you so much. Thanks, ladies.